Hi, everybody. Your Mayor Lou Manzo here again. Hoping you're doing well as we get ready to enter the Labor Day weekend in a couple of days. I wanted to take a few minutes today before we bring in our special guest and just make sure you're aware of some of the most recent changes and restrictions that came down from Trenton in the last couple of days. You're probably aware of this, that the governor now has made indoor amusements and gyms are now open, I think, as of earlier in this week on Tuesday. And starting on Friday morning, this coming Friday, going into the weekend, restaurants and bars, cafes, clubs will be able to open at 25% capacity. And that also applies to movie theaters. Movie theaters can also be open at 25% capacity, and the governor has raised the indoor gathering number to 150. So we continue to see some easements now as there's been a little leveling off, and we'll, keep tabs on that and make sure you're in the loop. Obviously, those restriction easements or the restrictions actually have a lot to do with what we can and can't do in town in reference to the great events that we have on an annual basis. So today, my objective is to talk a little bit about that and what it would be like between now and the end of the year and what events that we typically would have. So for that, I'm going to bring in our event aficionado, none other than committee woman Julie DeLaurentis, to help us with that. Julie, how are we doing?
Hello, good to see you, Lou.
Good to see you. Love your background.
Thank you. Colorful. I thought we're talking about events. I thought it would be a fun background for us.
So Julie, most of you probably know this, but Julie has lived in town for like 30 years, I think.
Yep, that's right.
30 years, and her children, like mine, are grown and out of the house. So it's just her and her husband, Dominic. So first question I always ask in these unique times is, how's that going?
Everybody's doing really well. Thank you for asking. Seriously, everybody's doing well. I hope everyone's family is staying healthy and safe.
Yeah, I mean, I think we count ourselves among the blessed because we haven't been touched by the health aspect of this, at least directly in our families. So, and that's the most important thing. Today, as I said, we want to talk a little bit about some of these events. And Julie has been a volunteer on the rec committee way before she got, involved in elected office a few years ago. For, upwards of close to 20 years, she's been on the rec committee, and that's who spearheads all of the great events that we have in town. So I'm going to throw it to you, Julie. Why don't you just go through the list of what is planned and maybe what is adjusted between now and the end of the year?
Well, yes, first of all, the Recreation Commission, along with a lot of other groups in town, Historical Society, Business Association, other private businesses, there's so many groups, and they just want to give to the community. They still want to have events. Some of them are choosing to take a year off, which we all understand, and others are moving forward. So I think it's good to know a few events that are going on in town. We are having some great events and programs. And the first one I think we should mention is the first one coming up, the 9/11 Memorial Service. And that's happening September 11th, Friday, right on Main Street where our 9/11 Memorial stands. And I know, Lou, this is near and dear to your heart, as well as everyone on the committee and past committee members as well. So we will be socially distanced, and it is going to be a little different, but we are having the service on 9/11.
Yeah, and and I'm sure we'll have between now and then, which it's only next Friday, a little more than a week away, we'll put some, details out, and you'll see that it's basically a 6:30 start at the site right on Main Street, like Julie said, socially distanced, but we're going to go through the entire protocol and honor the heroes of that day, and the fact that we are fortunate enough to have, relics from all three sites right here on Main Street. So, like Julie said, we're looking forward to that next Friday.
I can't believe, it's September now. On September 12th, which is the next day, that evening, there's a concert at the Welt. And this is a first-time event. And again, Recreation is a strong team of volunteers, and Sharon Chu, our secretary. They just said they just want to give back to the community. Some things had to be eliminated in our event, in our calendar. Some have been modified. This one is new. So you can get tickets on Eventbrite. It's Saturday, September 12th. And it's a big, what you're buying, you buy a great big circle that is socially distanced. So you can have your family or your group together, right, socially distanced from the next group. And you're going to be given a circle, so to speak, and live music. So I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I know a lot of us are going to go. I hope people can attend.
Yeah, we'll be there. We have a couple circles, right?
Right, we do. It'll be fun.
Yeah, great.
And again, that's at William Wilt Park. So what's next, Lou? Next would be, well, this is being sponsored, an event October 10th and 11th is being sponsored by some private businesses in town, and they put this together every year. It's the Fall Festival and this year it's called Fall Festival, the Fall Open House and Civil War. And it's been going on for decades. So they're doing a version of it. They're also adding a walking tour on that Saturday evening called the Ghastly Civil War, the Ghastly Tour of the Civil War.
The Ghastly
Civil War Tour. I'm sorry, it's brand new.
Got it, okay.
And this is sort of, our historical society is taking a year off from their ghost walk. So they've all been working together to put something in its place. I think it's going to be cool. You know, we're historically registered. And as a matter of fact, there's a Civil War house right next to the 9/11 memorial that was there from the Civil War on. So I think it's going to be really interesting. I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
Cool. Great.
What's next?
After that, Halloween after that? Halloween?
Yes, and
everybody's been asking about Halloween.
Different parts of Halloween. October 24th is our Halloween parade. Recreation Commission will be having a parade. It will be different. We usually do a costume judging contest. I think they are not having that this year, but it's going to be a parade. The police always come out and help and support, and it's something we do with our police. So
right, there
will be a parade for children and their families, and we hope people come out. It's something we give back. It's a give back to the community. It's completely free of charge. Just something fun.
You know, all of these things that we're talking about obviously have to adhere to whatever the governor's guidelines are. And so, you know, through this whole thing, actually, people have asked me often, you know, why aren't you doing this or why are you doing that? And the reality is that we at the local level don't have a lot of autonomy.
No.
What we can do is once there's a restriction easement, we could choose to keep the easement in place. For example, the governor now raised outdoor gatherings to 500 people. So we could choose within that, restriction to have gatherings outside, events outside, as long as there's a distancing protocol observed of up to 500 people. We could also choose not to. We could go under that. In our case, what we've done consistently is whatever easement, the restriction that the governor put in place or, eased, we went right to that limit. And we're consistent with what Trenton is doing. So that said, in reference to the Halloween parade, again, these are voluntary events. People can choose to come or not. But if they do, within the guidelines, it could be up to 500 people. Now, it's never quite that much, even in big years. Could be, 100 or so, but there'll be distancing protocols in place, and we'll do it in a safe manner. And I know you and Sharon Chu, our rec coordinator, do a great job of overseeing that event every year. And it is a kind of real feel-good thing for the kids. So there's going to be a version of it, and then you'll get to choose, moms and dads will get to choose, to attend.
Lou, another question we've been asked by residents is about the neighborhood trick-or-treating. What are we going to do? It's a township. What are we putting something special in place because of the pandemic? I don't know. We haven't discussed it as a committee, but I know you and I've discussed different thoughts on this. And
Yeah, I mean,
if you want to say where we stand on this is a tough one.
yeah, I mean, I think, this being the first few days of September, we're in a holding pattern to wait and see what happens. Let's
Yeah.
face it, it's, you know, 7 weeks away or so.
Right.
And so we're going to wait and see what happens, and we're going to see what Trenton says. So based on the dictate that comes out of Trenton in reference to Halloween, and there's going to be some version of that, we'll probably fall in line with that. So there could be the capability of setting the hours, 3 p.m. to 8 p.m. like we normally would, but maybe there might be some additional information, like if you don't want someone even ringing your bell, there'll be potentially a notice you could put out or something along that line, or we'll figure that out, and we'll make sure that everybody's aware of it. We're reserving judgment until we get a little closer.
Yeah, I think it's hard because people want a plan, and it's been this way since March. It's hard to not know, and it's just that's the way it has to be, unfortunately. So now you know what we're down to. We're down to Thanksgiving weekend.
The granddaddy o' 'em all.
Yeah, I know.
Wait a minute, aren't we going to have 8 or 9,000 people on the street that weekend like we normally do?
With no restrictions? No.
Yeah.
No. No, we can't do that. But we're working out the details with our Main Street residents and businesses, and we are going to do something, and it's going to be, again, it's going to be different. The working title of it is Magic on Main. So we want to light up the street. We all have all the shops open. We're going to keep working out details on possibly, different carolers walking down the street or whatever. You will be able, the street will not be closed, but the shops will be open. I think the decorations might be a little step up from what we've done in the past, even just to get people to come and enjoy our Main Street and to appreciate the shops and the businesses.
Mm-hmm. So we're not going to have a Lights on Main event in a formal sense like we normally would and shut down Main Street from 5 to 10 p.m. on that Saturday night. The however is that pivot point of Thanksgiving and Thanksgiving weekend is still going to be the transformation of our Main Street village into a kind of looking Christmas card.
Right.
And that's still going to happen, and it will be kicked up a notch or two in reference to some of the decorations and lights and some of the features that will be there, but it just won't be an event. It'll be a weekend long, time where you could go with your family and stroll up and down Main Street, take it in. But it's not going to be an event like it has been in the past for obvious reasons. But we will still have our version of now what we're going to call Magic on Main, and the feel will still be the same, and certainly our shop owners will be open, and the look of it is really what prime objective is this year. So that's the best.
And again, is if we continue to have more easements, or we will keep working with Trenton. We will take every wherever we are, we'll make sure we're complying, but we want to make it as special as possible.
Right, we're going to make it special, be safe, and let's face it, it's 11 weeks away, so a lot can happen on either side of the spectrum between now and then.
Right.
And at the end of the day, that's going to dictate, what it's going to look like. But that's great. Anything else you think we need to know, at least in the short term, in reference to events? I think you covered everything.
Well, I think this is the beginning. As things come up, please keep checking in. Our website, Facebook, Happening on the Hill is excellent. Just, we will, as other events come up, if we can do them even past the beginning of the year, we're just going to keep giving back to the community. That's what the Recreation Commission is about.
Yeah, do a great job of it. And so, we'll end on that note, which is where we kind of segued in, which is it's Labor Day. And so this Labor Day, be with your family, be with your friends. I'd say take a moment at some point in there and just think about, the incomparable American spirit that is really what makes the American worker what it is, and how the American worker has transformed the world in the last couple hundred years. And so that's an important thing to hold dear this weekend and appreciate a little more maybe than normal. And because it's that spirit that we know is going to carry us through, and even with all the economic hardships that everybody's been enduring, as things transition, it's that spirit that's going to get us to the other side. And locally, we call that Harrison.
Harrison Strong.
So we'll end with stay Harrison strong. Have a good Labor Day. We'll see you soon.